Welcome, everybody, to this week's show. This is the You Can't Comp This NBA Trading Card Podcast. I am your host, Russell Gibson, and with me is Neil from Neil Collects. What's up, buddy? How's it going?
It's going really well. It's actually funny because I usually listen to your podcast on Spotify at 1.3 times speed.
1.3 times speed. So do I speak too slowly for your...
It's a little bit different. It's a little bit different, that's for sure.
This must seem like slow motion for you in that case.
Yeah.
1.3 speed. So what's up with that? Because like sometimes I'll listen to people on 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. That's quite fast.
Well, I'm a busy person, so like I need to get as much into my life as possible.
Yeah.
1.3 is the desired speed.
So do you listen to Joe Rogan, or what's your other podcast that you consume?
No, a lot of NBA podcasts. So I love Thinking Basketball, which is not a card podcast, but it's an NBA basketball related podcast.
And what speed do you listen to that on?
Everything gets the 1.3 times treatment.
Oh, okay. So it's not like you have to listen to my podcast on 1.3 and someone else on 1.1 and someone else on 1.2. Okay. That actually makes me feel a bit better, because sometimes I do wonder if I'm speaking too slowly. But
well, because of your accent, I should probably listen to it at like 1.1 just so it's easier for me to understand.
My accent's not the problem. Your accent's the problem. Hang on a second here. All right, man. Introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself. I'd love to hear about just how you got into the hobby, all that type of Genesis stuff. Let's do it.
Yeah, for sure. My name is Neil from Neil Collects Cards. I've been collecting cards for 40 some odd years, so I'm a bit of an old head. Started back in the mid 80s with like WWF wrestling cards just at like the corner store, evolved into, hockey cards and basketball and everything else. Was in and out of the hobby since then pretty much, but
who was your favorite wrestler? Was it Hulk Hogan?
Hulk Hogan, no question. He is the MJ of wrestlers.
Did you watch the Netflix documentary about him?
I did, of course, yes. Yeah. It was really well done, and from what I hear, it was like there was quite a few things like missing from the story, like with I think he had like a couple more wives than they had shown and some more family stuff, but
I'm sure he's got more children out there than they discussed. 100%, man.
Yeah, definitely that.
Yeah. Alrighty, so you're talking about collecting ice hockey, wrestling cards,
basketball. I basically like took breaks here and there, and I took breaks at the worst times. So as a kid, I collected during the junk wax era, of course, which was terrible. Collected up until maybe like 1995, and then high school hit and I was too cool for cards. And then of course 96 was like the Kobe rookie year iconic class with like Steve Nash and all of those future Hall of Famers. So I missed that. And then I started collecting again when basketball was terrible, especially the Raptors in like the late, 1999. And then I missed LeBron's rookie year, and just picking the worst times ever to jump in and out of the hobby. But it's been about 40 years, and probably 6 of those years a little bit more seriously, like many collectors now. I've taken it pretty seriously. We're probably going to discuss a little bit about it, but I've kind of turned it into a bit of a part-time consulting gig in the field. So I've come a long way.
Yeah, good. Let's talk about your Raptors fandom.
Sure. I am a self-proclaimed degenerate Raptors fan. Literally since day one. I remember the very first year of the draft in 1995. I remember watching it live on TV, and at the time, everybody wanted
first draft pick again. Was that Damon Stoudemire?
Damon Stoudemire,
yeah.
But everybody wanted this player from UCLA named Ed O'Bannon, who was a very decorated college player. And when we chose Damon Stoudemire, like every Raptors fan was booing, and they're like, "Who is this guy?" of course, he turned out to be quite an amazing player, and Ed
Yeah,
O'Bannon
that was the right
actually
pick.
did
Yeah.
not amount to much. So
No.
that was the right call. So yeah, ever since then, I've been a huge fan. I've probably I don't want to say I've like watched every single Raptors game, but I would say like 90 to 95% of every Raptors game since day one I've probably caught on TV or live forms the foundation of my card collecting. So I'm a really big Kyle Lowry collector.
Yeah.
I'm working on an autograph project where I'm trying to collect one autograph of every player that's played for the Raptors, has to be in a Raptors uniform, which takes me into interesting depths of
All right.
the
This is
the
the stuff
collector
I want
world.
to talk about. This is the crazy collector stuff. This is where I'm at. All right. So the first thing I have to ask is, what are you using to reference every player? Are you using basketball reference? Is there a spreadsheet out there that actually outlines this for you, or are you going back through box
Uh,
scores? How are you doing this, man?
there isn't. I think what I had done was I basically Googled like a list of all the players that had played for the Raptors.
Yeah.
And then I went into trading card database to see if those players had an autograph card in a Raptor, like an autograph Raptors card. And then I compiled like a master list. And then, as the next year of players comes along, I just add to that list essentially.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
how
there's
far back are
actually
you
not a
going?
ton.
Oh, really? How
Yeah,
far back are
there's
you going? Are you going
probably
from like the first season, or are you just doing it the last couple of years? Like, what's your sort of your time range on this?
yeah, all the way to the first season.
Oh, I thought there would have
But
been hundreds of plays you'd be collecting.
there are several hundred players who've played for the Raptors, but
Yeah,
those a ton of them, had a cup of coffee with the team, like 10-day contracts and stuff like that. So they never got a card, or
sure.
even if they
Yeah,
got a card, they didn't have an autograph card put into
yeah,
a set. So there's bigger like Raptors names like Alvin Williams, who is like a nobody, but for a Raptors fan, he's someone.
yeah,
And like Alvin Williams is a big Raptors player, but like he never had a true autograph card.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So would you
So
get like,
there's
because he played for the Bucks for a while, didn't he? So would you get a Bucks autograph of him, or no, that doesn't qualify in your chase?
it doesn't qualify. If he doesn't have like a Raptors uniform pack pulled
Yeah,
card, I'm not super interested.
yeah, sweet. Yeah, I love this, man. That's some cool stuff. So how many autographs have you chased down already?
I think the master list probably has, I don't know the exact count, like 130 to 140, let's say.
Yeah.
And I'm only missing two. The two being Peja Stojakovic,
Okay.
who again had a cup of coffee with the Raptors. And the difficult thing about the Peja Stojakovic card is he's only got one Raptors card, one Raptors autograph card, and it's numbered to 35.
Right.
So there's only 35 copies. They occasionally end up on eBay and people are asking like 800 US dollars or something
Yeah.
for like $100 card. So I just can't
Yeah.
justify buying it. And then the other card is a player named Chuck Hayes.
Yeah.
And I've never seen the card. I know the card exists on a checklist, but I've never seen a photo of it. I've never seen a picture. Like it's like a unicorn. Like I don't even know if it really exists or if it just exists on a checklist.
It might be one of those ones where it's a redemption by Panini and they've actually never released it. It's almost worth contacting Panini,
Yeah,
isn't it, to ask them,
yeah,
like, was it ever
it's
put out into the
possible.
population? Yeah. You can't trust
Yeah, I
Panini in this
mean,
sort of space, can you?
I mean, it would suck if I spent my life like chasing this Chuck Hayes card that was
And
never
Panini never
actually
released it.
printed.
Yeah, that'll be the
Yeah,
most Panini thing that they could do. There was a post the other day from Joe Ingles, like someone found this entire box of cards, of patch autograph cards that had never been signed. There was probably 100 of them.
I
No
saw
wonder,
that. Yeah,
no wonder people have redemptions that never get filled when you've got instances like that. Can't be the only time that's happened, man. It must be a drop in the bucket.
yeah, yeah, for sure. I'm pretty sure that they're getting a lot more strict on players like keeping cards and that sort of thing. The
Tops or
rumor that
Panini?
I'm not sure,
Yeah, that's right. Like,
but but
I mean,
but
Panini's, they're done now, right?
yeah, true. The rumor though that I heard was unless you sign all of them and get them all back, like you don't get paid for any of it.
Yeah.
So athletes are incentivized to actually complete the job and
Yeah.
not pull like a Giannis and keep all his one of one rookie
Yeah.
autos.
I think that's very fair and reasonable, to be honest with you. Like, why? Yeah. I mean, the other one too, that this is probably a bit closer to my heart, but it was De'Aaron Fox. He literally would sign them and just throw them across the table. I think that also should be part of the contract too. They need to look after them, not with maybe white gloves on, but not throw them like frisbees. Put them carefully back into the box. Try not to smudge the autograph, stuff like that. I think that should be
Yeah.
included in the contract too. I
Yeah.
completely segued you here. We're talking about Rockets legend Chuck Hayes.
Yes. We are talking about Raptors legend
Yeah.
Hakeem Olajuwon right
Oh,
there.
let's talk about that. Yeah, let's go.
This was one of the more difficult Raptors autographs to get. He only played one season with the Raptors. He has a handful of autograph cards in a Raptors uniform. And this one is made more rare because he signed it with the inscription Dream.
Yeah.
And I was lucky enough to pick this up. I found it on eBay, but I actually knew who the buyer was because I had met him at a show in Vancouver and ended up doing a deal on Instagram with him. So really lucky to have this card. And again, this is like unicorn type card. I don't think most Raptors collectors or fans have ever seen an Olajuwon card in a Raptors uniform, let alone an autograph.
What was it like having Hakeem on your team for 12 months? Was it a good experience? Was it frustrating?
I mean, he was pretty washed
Yeah.
by that time. The hope was he was going to be teamed up with Vince Carter, and like we finally got the center that we needed. And
Yeah.
then when he showed up on the team, he was just like half the man that he used to be, kind
Yeah.
of thing. So
Yeah,
it
definitely.
was a little bit sad.
I was surprised the Rockets traded him. I don't even know what caused them to do that, but I just remember that Charles Barkley, Hakeem, Clyde Drexler team, that last season of that trio, it was just painful to watch, honestly. Like, it was just, they had nothing left. They were so old and
Yeah,
broken down. So,
yeah,
yeah.
and Olajuwon with the Raptors must have been 99-ish. So like this was like well after the glory days of those Rockets teams.
I'm just going to Google now. How old was Hakeem when he played for the Raptors? We need to speed this up to 1.3, man. He was 38.
Yeah.
I mean, that's old.
And,
And he's a big guy. Imagine dragging a body that big around a basketball court like that.
right.
Yeah.
And that was a 38 on the books too. That was this is like a 1980s African 38. So
You reckon he was really 45?
might have been.
Alrighty. Do you want to talk a few more of these other Raptors cards? Tell us about this one here. This is a cool one.
Most people should know the story of Kawhi. He played 1 year with the Raptors. We happened to win the championship that year. In my opinion, one of the greatest teams ever assembled, but he doesn't have very many autographs. And he
Hang on a
doesn't have
second.
many
One of the
autographs.
greatest Raptors teams ever assembled, or one of the greatest teams ever
One
assembled?
of the greatest teams ever assembled. Hot take.
Hang on a second. All right. So give me your top 5 teams of all time then. You can't just say this stuff and not qualify this. Come on, man. Let's go.
Well, let's focus on this Raptors team because a lot of people seem to think that it was a fake championship. Kevin Durant went down with the Achilles injury. Klay Thompson went down in game 6, and they're just like, this was a fake team. But let's look at who was on that team and who they were and what they've become, right? Like we have Kawhi, future Hall of Famer, Kyle Lowry, 6-time All-Star, probably a future Hall of Famer. We had Danny Green, one of the best 3-and-D players of his generation, Serge Ibaka, and Marc Gasol, 2 defensive-minded, incredible bigs. Pascal Siakam, multiple All-Star. Fred VanVleet, All-Star. Norman Powell, All-Star. And we also forget that OG Anunoby had appendix operation, so he didn't even play in the playoffs.
Yeah.
This team was stacked 1 through 10 or 11.
Yeah. I agree with you. It was a very good team. And I won't dispute that you need luck in the playoffs. I think the best example of that just happened now. Like the Knicks had luck to win that championship. Tatum was out. Cade was 1 or 2 years away. The Spurs beat OKC. So I think that the Spurs were an easier out than the Thunder. All of these things happen for the Knicks to win the championship. And that's okay. Like, that's sports, and you need a little bit of luck to win. I've got no problem with that. But I just think there's been a few better teams in NBA history than these Raptors. That's all I'm saying, man. Like, the Shaq
Okay,
Kobe Lakers, they were pretty good. The Jordan Pippen Rodman Bulls, they were pretty good. I mean, even the
so
Hakeem Drexler, they were pretty good. Larry Bird
so
Celtics, pretty
so
good.
let's also look at who the Raptors had to beat to win that championship. Okay, Orlando was
Talk to me.
crap. That's fine. Second round was Philadelphia, all-time
Yep.
super team, because this was when they had signed Jimmy Butler, right, to come in and be a mercenary and win that title. This was when Ben Simmons was an actual player, Embiid in his prime. Like,
hang on, isn't that the series that Ben Simmons passed up the layup? Isn't that what
probably,
caused that
but
team
but
to break down? Yep.
well, what caused the team to break down was Kawhi hitting the second most iconic shot in NBA history.
That was a banger.
Right.
That was a banger.
And then
Yeah.
the third round was against Milwaukee, who was the number one seed, if I'm not mistaken. 60 win team that season. We were down 2-0
Yeah.
to the Bucks. We lose the first two games. What happens? Kawhi comes in and he says, "We got to make changes. The changes are I'm going to guard Giannis." And then we win 4 straight. And then we play an all-time Golden State Warriors team, super team. Kawhi's like, "Yeah, I got that. Let's just crush this dynasty and win another championship."
Yeah.
That's a pretty tough run to the championship, my friend.
Yeah, no, full respect. I'm definitely not throwing shade at your boys. And I think the other thing I'd add to this too is that how good Kawhi Leonard is when he actually plays. My issue with the NBA, I was actually talking to my buddy about this the other night. It's like, how do you quantify good defensive players? There's no easy defensive metric to actually like throw that out there. And I think that's the part that's lost with Kawhi Leonard. It's a shame that he couldn't play more because he would have been an all-time great, honestly.
Yeah, he definitely impacts winning maybe more than any other player. And after he won that championship, I mean, the argument was made by a lot of people that he was the best player in the NBA.
Yeah, that's a fair call. Thank you to US Sports Cards Australia for your ongoing love and support of our podcast. We cannot thank you enough. Go to ussportscardsaustralia.com.au. There you'll find sealed product, brakes, card protection, and of course Ross's water pistols. Also, go onto the website, click on the 3 little noodles, click on singles category, and there you'll find NHL, MLB, NBA, NFL, WNBA, soccer, TCG, heaps and heaps of different singles on there. Ross is building his consignment service. You can submit your cards on there. All You Can't Cop This listeners will receive a discounted submission. Just write You Can't Comp This onto your submission form. Let's check out what's for sale on the website at the moment. I've clicked on NBA and singles, and I found a Wemby rookie card for sub $10 AUD. It is the Mosaic Basketball Victor Wembanyama card for $9.60. Keep up the great work, Ross, and thank you to US Sports Cards for your ongoing love and support. I'm really distracted by you calling the Raptors one of the best teams ever. I'm not going to be able to get over this, actually.
So basically, Kawhi comes in for the 1 year. Unfortunately, he doesn't have a lot of autograph cards from that season, and not a lot of them are on card, like this flawless one. So if you're ever curious and you're on eBay or 130 Point or whatever, just look up 2018 Kawhi cards and compare the prices of those versus any other year Kawhi. It's like, for Raptors, it's probably 3 to 5 times like a Clippers card or a San Antonio card. It's just a massive premium.
And you think that's all just to do with the championship and just that Raptors fans really covet these cards?
Yeah, and it's supply because he was only there for the 1 season. And what he did for the city and the country is exceptional. It's like a true mercenary. He just comes in, just murders the NBA and leaves. Like, it's almost poetic.
Yeah. Why do you think the Raptors let go of Masai Ujiri?
I think it comes down to the Raptors organizational changes. They basically didn't want to pay him.
Because my feeling about that championship was the coaching was fantastic, obviously, and the players were great on the court, but he was the one who orchestrated all of that, and he had that vision to put it all together. So I never really understood why they just let him go?
Yeah, he did also buy a lot of time winning that championship because some of the decisions after the championship were not great.
Yeah. The
Fans
Ingram
think
contract
that
is pretty bad.
Ingram contract, Emmanuel Quickly contract, Jakob Poeltl contract, they're all not great.
Yeah.
But I think it was more like in dealing with our players, our free agents like Siakam, Anunoby, Fred VanVleet, like Fred Walk, Siakam, we probably didn't get fair market value for. OG, I think we did okay on that trade, but
the Knicks won the
yeah,
championship, so that's a tough one, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
All right, you've got a Kyle Lowry card. Do you want to break this one down for us?
Yeah, this is, I think it's a 2017 select courtside black 1 of 1. So this was back when select was hobby only. They didn't have a bazillion parallels.
Those were the
So-
days,
so-
wasn't it, when select was hobby only? Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure there's maybe only like 14 or 18 different variations of this card in the entire checklist. And since I got the black 1 of 1 and there's only 1 of 1, I was like, I should probably try to go for the rainbow. So I've been kind of piecing together this rainbow slowly, but because it's a little bit of an older product, they don't really hit the market all that often.
Yeah.
Super cool card though. It's gorgeous.
Kyle Lowry again. Do you want to talk to us about this one quick?
Kyle Lowry. Yeah, this is a 1 of 1 Fleer. It's a Jordan tribute dunk, right? This is like the Jordan 86 Fleer. So yeah, it's a 1 of 1 from retail. I believe it's from Walmart. So you can imagine how impossible that would have been to pull back in 2006. I was able to pick this up off a hobby friend. Whenever I'm able to get a Kyle Lowry 1 of 1, I just try to go for it. Preferably Raptors, but also rookie year stuff is pretty collectible for me as well.
So your PC is Kyle Lowry and Drazen Petrovic. You want to talk to
and
us about
Drazen Petrovic?
Yeah. You want to talk to us about? Do you have a Drazen card for us? All right, that's fine. I will find one while you're talking about Kyle Lowry. Give me 2 seconds.
Yeah, I collect Drazen Petrovic because I'm an old head. I remember him playing. I remember his tragic death. I remember the segment that he did on NBA Inside Stuff with Willow Bay back in like 1992 or whatever it was. When I got back into the hobby like 6 years ago, I found that everyone was kind of chasing the same cards like Zion and Ja and those types of guys. So I kind of dug a little deeper and was like, you know what? Like, I think collecting Drazen would be really cool. So I did a bit of a deeper dive into like his pre-NBA stuff. So he's got quite a bit of cards from Europe. So a lot of Panini stickers and kind of like oddball type cards before his NBA days. And then, of course, he does have some releases in more like modern sets like Prism.
So what's the ultimate chase card for you with Drazen Petrovic?
For me, because that's a really good question. I feel like the cards of his that are available, I pretty much have.
Have you got this one?
Not in that high of a grade. Like a 9 is an insane grade. I think.
Yeah. So that's 3,000 US that card. So that's basically the most expensive.
Yeah, that's crazy. But like an autograph card for Drazen, I think is absolutely need an autograph if you're a Drazen collector.
Yeah.
I have one. I had two, but I gave one up for a friend who is Serbian, and he's like, I need a Drazen autograph, so I kind of helped him out with that. I did pick up a Drazen Petrovic. I think it's a 2021 Prism Gold, True Gold number to 10, which are very, very difficult to find these days. Yeah, that black 1 of 1. But yeah, like stuff like that. The newer stuff I'm not as big of a fan of, to be honest. I'm just more interested in like his older stuff. There is a very interesting card that Leaf released. It's a dual patch card, game use patches of Drazen Petrovic and Reggie Lewis. So
is that it?
2-player, that is the 1 of 1 or one of the 1 of 1s that Leaf put out. Yeah, so I have 2 different versions of this card.
Isn't Reggie Lewis also passed away?
Yeah, so they both unfortunately had premature deaths back in the early 90s.
That's a pretty dark card, isn't it, for Leaf to put out?
I guess if you put it that way, I guess it is kind of dark.
That's brutal. I love this sort of stuff. Have you got any old VHSs of Petrovic playing NBA games? Like, have you got like a collection of the games you used to watch of that guy? Because
No,
I,
just like YouTube videos, and
yeah, I was gonna say I
I've
don't
read.
really remember watching that many games with him in it. I've seen some of the Jordan Petrovic sort of battle highlights and stuff like that, but
Yeah.
I don't know. Because did he make an all-star team?
So it was weird. In his last season in the NBA, he didn't make an all-star team, but he made the all NBA third team, I believe.
Because I've watched pretty well every single all-star game, and I don't remember him.
Yeah, he definitely didn't make an all-star team.
Yeah.
That's the prism I just picked up. Somebody actually pulled this card at my friend's card shop.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so he knew that I collected Drazen, so he messaged me, and I made a pretty quick deal on it. Couldn't let this one slide.
Yeah, that's a sick card, man. That's a beautiful looking card. All right, so we've covered your Raptors diehard. We've covered your insane Raptors PC chase, Kyle Lowry, Petrovic. What else do you want to talk about, man?
So more recently, I've had to make a lot of difficult decisions when it comes to like the PC. So 6 years ago, I kind of started collecting a little bit more seriously. And with that, you move from $10 cards to $100 cards, and
Yeah,
$100 cards to $1,000 cards, and $1,000 cards to $5,000, and up and up and up.
yeah,
And eventually it got to the point where I was like, you know what? It'd be nice to just hold, other than my core PC cards of like the Raptors and Kyle and Drazen, it'd be nice to just hold like a handful of really, really nice cards of
yeah.
players that I admire.
I'm 100% with you on this, by the way, too. It's good to like
Yeah.
have a bit of everything. Yeah,
Yeah. So I had to make a lot of tough decisions where it's like, okay, I have, I don't know, like these four Scotty Barnes cards who I love that are each like $2,000 each. Like that's a lot of money to be tied up into Scotty Barnes. I
yeah,
love the guy, but get rid of those, get rid of other things, and just kind of move your way up.
yeah.
And a couple of weeks ago, I moved all the way up to a Jordan rookie 86 Fleer BGS 9. Yeah, so that took a lot of consolidation and a lot of difficult decisions. Anything that wasn't like 100% keep for me, I just was like, I have to sell it in order to fund this card.
Yeah.
Surprisingly got it done. But yeah, it was a really difficult decision to make, to be honest.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, congratulations. That's the first thing to say. But
Thank you.
why did you choose that instead of the star? Because I feel like this is a big conversation
Yeah,
piece at the moment. Yeah.
I don't know what the stars are doing right now, but for the price of a BGS 9, I'm guessing I might be able to get like a super low grade star, or maybe like an authentic altered or something. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like the prices of those have gone nuclear.
Yeah, they really have. So so a BDS 9 star, population 76 is $250,000.
Yeah,
Wow. That
yeah,
is
yeah.
crazy, isn't it? That's like a house.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and, to sort of rewind this back a little bit, like, I've had to earn everything in life. My family are immigrants from Vietnam, so I was actually born on a refugee camp. We grew up very modestly, and in a lot of ways, I think I don't wanna say I'm epitomize the American dream or the Canadian dream, but, like, in a lot of ways, it's like I've gotten to the point where I'm at now through hard work and
Yeah,
like
fuck yeah, man.
dedication to
Yeah.
the hobby. And
Yeah, good for you.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like a bit of a sense of accomplishment, or like, I don't know if it's accomplishment or just like this feeling of like I've
Just
come
enjoy
so
your
far
win. Don't feel guilty about it either. Yeah.
where I can frivolously spend this stupid amount of money on
Yeah.
something so trivial.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's very hard to explain, but let's just say I've come a long way.
Okay, so my follow-up question here is I have a Singaporean wife and I have Singaporean/Malay parents-in-law.
Yeah.
Money is a big thing for these guys, and they will heckle me over taking the kids to Macca's for breakfast, right? So have you told them how much you've spent on sports cards, your parents?
So after I bought this card, I actually got my dad to guess how much I spent on it, and he was spot on.
Okay.
He actually got it to the dollar, which is
Right.
pretty
Okay.
funny. Yeah,
So does your dad secretly collect and follow the hobby?
absolutely not. No.
That's awesome. No, congratulations, man. And so what's your
Thank
long-term
you.
plan for this card? What are you going to do with it? Vault it? Are you going to flip it? Are you going to use it to step up into something else? What's your plan?
Safety deposit box. Just kind of hang on to it. I'm not going to say I'm never going to get rid of it or like I'm going to die with it. I don't have kids, so I'm not handing down anything. So at some
Yeah.
point, I'm going to have to get rid of it. But at this point, it's kind of like, is there a card that I love more than this and that I can trade into it?
Yeah.
Could it be a card? For me, I love golf and like I would love like a Jordan Tiger Woods dual autograph. So if one of those were to stumble upon my lap, like would I consider trading a
A
Jordan
trade.
rookie for it?
Wow.
Maybe, but
Wow.
maybe not.
Okay.
It would have to be something that I would love more than this card.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Tell us about the Steph Curry rookie ticket. I'm
Yeah,
fascinated by this
so
card. Yeah.
yeah, so every year I go to the National in the US and I try to plan one big purchase.
Yeah.
So my goal last year was to pick up this card, and I actually ended up with 2 copies of it by the end of the weekend, but this was the one that I ended up keeping. This was when the card was around 5,200 US, and I think nines probably go for like between 9 and 10,000 US now. So like in less than a year, it's almost doubled.
Yeah.
So that was a really good investment. I guess the origin story of that was like 2 years prior to last year, we were at the National, and a friend and I identified this card as being a card in the industry that was really underpriced. And I still believe that, to be honest, because you look at some of Curry's higher end NT or immaculate or not immaculate, like flawless autos and whatever that are like 15th year autograph cards that go
Yeah.
for more than this card. And it's like, this doesn't make sense, right? In a lot of ways, this was like an investment card because I think it's underpriced, but it's
Yeah.
also like a beautiful card. And the pattern that you might be seeing is like I really do like autographs. Yeah.
It's just more value in that, I think. That's the way I look at autographs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is I'm not sure if I sent the photo of the Bird Magic Dr. J triple auto,
I
but that's
think you
another
text.
PC card. So I can
Yeah.
probably show it in the
I can pull it up.
in the
Oh, yeah,
chat.
sure.
So this was one of my earlier like PC cards, maybe from 2 nationals ago. This was the card that I identified as wanting to come home with.
Yeah.
And I didn't actually come home with it, but I found someone in Canada who had it a month after the expo or the national. So it all
All right.
worked out.
So there's two things I want to follow up what you've just spoke about. First thing is Steph Curry market cap, and we'll come back to that in a second. That card that
Mhm.
you just held up to the camera, then do you mind just doing that again? Because my
Sure.
follow-up question to that card is actually very specific. How did you ensure the authenticity of that? Because all of those autographs are aftermarket autographs. How do you know that they're not fake and you've just been like walked out with a whole bunch of cash? Because my concern about buying the aftermarket autographs is just the authenticity of it. So did you
Yep.
go to a safe seller? Did you know the provenance of it? Were you at the signing event
No,
where you
it,
saw it all happen? Like,
it's
talk to us about that.
I bought it already encased in a PSA holder.
Yeah.
And I mean, with all PSA DNA slabs, there is a bit of a leap of faith that you need to do. But I think all three of those players have pretty distinct autographs, and all three of those players are known to sign a lot of copies of this card.
Yeah.
So I feel like they're all authentic.
And did you check the serial number before? Did you look at different
Yeah,
autographs? Like, I'm
yeah,
just really interested to know like what
yeah,
the process was that you went, because this is not a
yeah.
cheap
So
card.
no. So for this particular card, like I knew I wanted a copy where the autographs were really clean. A lot of the times with this card, you'll find copies where like two of the signatures are done in like regular marker and then one is done in a thin marker, one is done in a thicker marker. And for this card, I felt like the autographs were more consistent. all three kind of look like they could have been signed by the same marker.
Yeah.
And you don't always get it with this card. For me, that was just sort of a personal preference, I guess, in how it was signed.
Yeah.
I'm actually talking to a friend of mine right now. He has a copy, same grade, same everything. And I'm thinking of picking up another copy because I feel like this card is underpriced as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if I want to carry that much
What's the
bird magic
total
debt.
population on that card that's been signed? Do you know that?
I'm guessing it's probably in the thousands.
Okay.
I do know that each of them charge a shit ton to sign this card. I think they each charge around $1,000 US to sign it.
Do they
So they
really?
definitely know that they're adding a lot of value to this card when they do sign it.
Yeah, right. Interesting. Just coming back to the market cap.
Yep.
So I'm doing this very quickly, and obviously I'm not doing this perfectly, but you have to scroll down a long way to get to Steph Curry. And so I do have a gut feeling, despite Steph Curry raising up so much the last couple of years, I actually think Steph is a very safe
Yep.
person to invest into, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's a couple of interesting things there. So with Steph, if you've ever gone to see kids play basketball these days, all they're doing is shooting 3-pointers. That's not because of LeBron, right? The other interesting thing is nobody hates Steph.
Yeah.
Everybody hates LeBron, or a lot of people hate LeBron. A lot of people don't like KD. Steph is just like universally loved by everyone.
Yeah.
So I think long term, this might be a hot take, but long term, I think Curry might be more collectible than LeBron is.
Yeah, I think that the spike that we're seeing with Kobe now and LeBron and Jordan, I think that's still to come as the current era of kids mature and then get their money that they get when in their 30 and 40s. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So we might not
Yeah.
see that spike for another 10 or 15 years. And
Yeah,
I
exactly.
100% agree with that take. I think market cap is such an interesting tool to use to actually to look at it, because the other argument you could make too is, well, he's still fourth overall. Does it actually get more interesting down here when you're looking at Nikola Jokic at 20 million and Kevin Durant at 21? Because I actually, that's the one I wonder if is going to be the big long-term spike. The narrative around Kevin Durant is horrible, and I think that has to change at some point.
I'm actually surprised to see some of those names that high, to be honest.
Okay. Who surprises you to be too high?
I wouldn't think that Tim Duncan would be that high because I don't feel like he's super collectible by a lot of people. It could also just come down to the cards that existed, like the big cards of his, like the PMGs and stuff like that, I'm sure is increasing the market cap for his cards. But
and he never signed a lot either. That's the other thing about Duncan, is that like there are some nice Duncan cards, but there's not that many nice ones. So I think you're probably onto something there. But I think for his resume, he is definitely somebody who's a little bit, in my opinion, too low, but just doesn't have the hobby pop that Anthony Edwards has. Like Edwards is already higher than him and has done nothing in comparison. Look at that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
If you think our content is worthwhile and you enjoy it, you can support us by heading to your favorite podcast platform, opening any of our episodes and clicking support the show to make a one-off or ongoing contribution. If funds are a bit tight and you'd still like to support the show, you can help us out by following, liking, or subscribing on our social platforms: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. Just search for You Can't Comp This. And don't forget to turn on auto downloads on your favorite podcast platform. Thank you to Neon Trading Cards for your ongoing support. Head to neontradingcards.com, where you'll find a huge array of breaks: soccer, NBA, MLB, F1, AFL, NRL, WWE, and Marvel. Find Neon Trading Cards on Whatnot. Neon is the exclusive home of Lucky Card Co. Repack Products, Australia's leading multi-sport repack company. Neon is also a Topps and Fanatics direct breaking partner. This week on Neon's Whatnot platform, the boys are ripping a heap of product. NFL, soccer for the World Cup. If you've been watching more World Cup and you want to dabble into some breaks, they've got UEFA Club Competition Chrome Value Box Up, UEFA Club Competition Chrome Mega Box Break, and also a full Bundesliga Chrome Breakers Delight full case. Huge breaks there for soccer. MLB, UFC, of course NBA, the lads have got it all. Neon have just launched their official second channel, Neon Trading Cards Plus. On the Plus channel, soccer, MLB, F1, AFL, NRL, WWE, UFC, and Marvel will be featured. Meanwhile, the main Neon Whatnot channel will run NBA breaks and the Lucky Cardco repacks. Get in, get ripping, and don't miss out. Neon is where the action is. Do you want to talk to us about your new part-time consulting gig? Tell us about your job title first. I love people's job titles that they come up with. Let's go. Come on.
I guess I technically don't have an official title. I would call myself a procurement consultant. So
I hope
there
you've got that
is
labeled on your desk,
a desk. What's that? No, just kidding. Yeah, so Mint Inc., they're one of Canada's leading sports card TCG retailers, currently have 2 locations, 2 more opening this year, and a bunch more planned for next year. One of the owners, John Amendola, who's well known in the hobby, he's been kind of talking to me in the background about working with them in some capacity. We just know each other from the hobby, and I guess he just likes the way I conduct myself and whatever else. So when I moved back to Toronto, we sort of came to an agreement where I would work with him and help him improve the buying processes for Mint Inc. to help facilitate this growth, essentially.
Yeah.
So when I talk about buying, it's strictly like singles and collections, all sports and TCG.
It seems to me like the last couple of years, some people are getting out, obviously, but there's a lot of people who are buying heavy. And if you have that platform to, if I want to use a word, recycle or sell and move on, for example, whatnot, people can do really well into that space, particularly if they're doing repacks and creating to different price point repacks too. I think people love obviously the cheaper repacks, but there's a real, I think, emerging market for high-end repacks, particularly when you directly compare what you get out of a hobby box versus a high-end repack. So I'm making a lot of assumptions here. I've got no idea what he does on the back end with these cards, but I think, the one that's coming to my mind is Neon Trading Cards. Like, you should see the queue for these guys at hobby shows. They pay strong. They move an absolute ton of cards through their platforms. Like, it's quite interesting, the finances in the background of that sort of the resale market.
Yeah, I think more recently, Mint Inc. has sort of made some organizational changes where they're really swinging for the fences.
Yeah.
So they're in good with tops. We get a lot of free PR because like a lot of the Toronto Blue Jays like are customers of ours and like visit the shop. And a couple of weeks ago, like Luke Combs came into the store randomly, and like it's basically like the shop to go to.
That would do well on
Toronto.
Instagram, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Johnny and the whole team have worked their butts off the last 5-6 years in reaching this point, and I'm sure there's a whole back end of stuff of like investors and things like that helping to facilitate this growth that I'm not too familiar with.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine.
And can't
We
really
don't need
talk
to go
about,
into
but
that. Yeah, no, we don't need to go into that.
but
That's fine.
it's cool being in the role that I'm in, because so outside of sports cards, I run my own business. I'm a photographer. I'm basically a one-man show. And I know
Yeah.
as a one-man show, it's like when you reach a certain point and want to scale, it's just really hard to let go, right? It's hard to want to delegate without giving too much input into whatever you're delegating. And so for John Amendola and the management team at Minting to sort of let things go and be like, you know what, we're not a mom and pop shop anymore. We need actual help from people who know what they're doing in order to facilitate true hobby growth. I mean, I commend them for doing that.
Yeah.
And I mean, they hired the right person in me, obviously. So
obviously. Yeah. All right. So tell us about some of the things that you do. Like, how do you go about it? What's your strategies? Where are you going to procure cards? Talk to us.
Yeah. So we get a lot of traffic every single day, all day, every day, just people coming into the store wanting to sell cards, wanting to trade cards. We're happy to facilitate those transactions, which I do.
Are you
So
working in the shop, or are you working outside of the shop? Sorry, I made an
I'm
assumption.
technically supposed to be like an office worker, but if there's no other buyers on site and I'm there, I'm obviously going to actually do the deals while I'm on site. But the more important part of my job is to actually come up with processes and procedures and SOPs so that we can take these procedures and processes and implement them into new locations, right?
Okay.
So if we're going to go from 2 locations to a dozen locations in a year, there's there's got to be processes in place on the buying side, or else it's going to be complete chaos, right? It's kind of difficult to explain without like getting into the technical parts of it, but I mean, if you can imagine purchasing tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars of inventory for each location and then multiplying it by however many more locations, like there has to be controls in place or it could get like really crazy really quickly.
So you're more in charge of setting up a process as opposed to obtaining stock for him.
I'm a bit of both.
Okay, because I thought you were going out to hobby stores and
So
purchasing cards
so
for him and bringing that inventory back.
n-
That's in my
no,
head what I
no,
thought you're. Yeah,
no. So I'm dealing with customers of ours directly and also dealing with like the policies and procedures in the background, I guess.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy how far the hobby's come that now someone's job is to actually create a policy on how to buy and sell cards. So what? So tell us about this policy, man. Like,
There's a lot that goes into it, right?
yeah, definitely.
Like, what do you buy? What do you pay? What are the
Yep.
margins? Once we get the cards, what do we do with them? Is a card going to get listed on our website? Is it going to go to auction on eBay? Is it going to go to live selling? Is it going to go to whatnot? Once we get the cards, there's still decisions to be made, right?
Some
So,
cards would do better on whatnot. Some cards would do better on eBay. Some cards would do better on
yeah,
Fanatics Collect, Golden's
right,
auctioning.
exactly.
Yeah. It's such a very finessed, intricate sort of decision to make, isn't it? I think the other thing too is even if you get the card at a really good price, there's still some cards that'll sell quicker than another card. I think the classic example for that would be LaMelo Ball at the moment is super hot. You could be turning that over very quickly. I think the Giannis trade, some of his cards have ticked up a little bit. I think there's going to be a bit more interest in Giannis. I can definitely see that, playing out. Anthony Edwards is always hot, but who's not hot at the moment? I think De'Aaron Fox is being eviscerated at the moment in the secondary market. Yeah.
Yeah.
So how would you accommodate for that in a policy? So are these people going to have sports cards knowledge, or are you bringing these people in and training them up on the job? Because I think without sports cards knowledge, how are you going to implement this properly? You couldn't just bring in somebody cold into this job and get them to read a policy. I don't think that would work.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like, you can't employ people like just regular retail people that don't really have experience in the hobby and expect them to be able to buy proficiently
Yeah.
because there's just so much nuance. And
Yeah.
like the one thing that I've noticed, even with sports cards versus TCG, is TCG is pretty simple. Like, you can scan the card, there's always tons of sales of cards. It's
Yeah.
pretty easy.
Yeah.
With sport cards, you have numbers and parallels and cards that haven't sold for 6 months or a year. So there's a lot more nuance in figuring out prices for sports, which I love the challenge of. But of course, you get into these situations where it's the person selling it is obviously going to want to comp it a certain way. You, as the buyer, are going to want to comp it a certain way. And
Yeah, definitely.
sometimes it could be a little bit far apart.
Final thoughts for today's show, man. What did you want to talk about? What have we
Not
missed?
much. I just wanted to thank you for having me. I've been a long time listener. I love how You Can't Cop This podcast is for everybody. Like, it's not just like US centric. And I love hearing opinions and market trends and everything in other markets. And yeah, I just really respect what you guys are doing. And I've been a long time listener, like I've said. Just keep up the great work. It's kind of funny because like I kind of live vicariously through the podcast. Like when I hear about you talking about, the shows in Melbourne or something, it's like, man, I should go to the show one day. I got friends there.
Melbourne is a very livable city. Yeah.
Yeah, shout outs to I'll call him my nephew Spencer, who is newer to collecting, and I've kind of introduced him into the hobby a little bit. And I've actually turned him into a Raptors fan, which is pretty amazing. given him some pretty cool Raptors cards for his collection. So shout out to him. Maybe I'll come for a visit and see you at the, what's the show in Melbourne called again? The
Hobby Hangout is probably one of the bigger ones. Yeah. But to be honest, actually the last couple of years, it's really kicked off. There's multiple that you could get down to. So yeah.
Be amazing. Love to come and do it.
I should have thanked you at the start of the show. So thank you for coming on. Actually, this is something I've been wanting to do. I want to get breakers to come on. I'm using air quotes now. I want to get regular collectors to come on and talk to us about crazy collections, every Raptors autograph. Like that's the stuff that I'm genuinely interested to talk to people about. And I'd also like to thank you for listening for such a very long time. Like, honestly, it's hard to explain. When you start doing a project like this, you don't know. It could go amazing. One person could listen to it, 100. You just don't know. So, yeah. Thank you so much for your support and listening to me. Even if you do listen to it on 1.3 speed, I think I appreciate it a lot. Yeah.
Well, you're welcome. And I'm happy to come back if things change or
Absolutely.
I overtake the CEO and it's not gonna happen.
Conduct a coup. Is that what you're telling me? I don't think your boss shouldn't listen to this. Don't tell him about this. Do you want me to edit this out? Yeah. Alrighty, guys. Thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you next week. Can you please